starting.
All right. Awesome. Hi, YouTube. Welcome. This is I believe, third iteration of our questions and answer session. So, as if you were here last week, I was on the panel answering questions, but now this week I will be a moderator, so I will be asking some questions this week. And so I have some of my friends here who will be helping me just discuss some small things about junior transfers and sort of what their experiences were and what they thought about, I guess, going from their respective paths into Berkeley. So I'm going to go ahead and I will cue these guys for introductions. So I will start with Eunice.
Hi, I'm Eunice. I actually transferred from Fullerton College and from Fullerton, California, and I'm majoring in economics and statistics. So originally, I was actually deciding between UCLA and UC Berkeley, but ultimately, I decided to go with Berkeley because I wanted to be away from home. And I think like Berkeley has a better curriculum given the major that I wanted to major in, and I just feel that I like the nature side of Berkeley better.
Nice. Tammy?
Hi, I'm Tammy. I actually transferred twice. Right before Berkeley, I transferred from the Peralta colleges. So that's like Berkeley City College, Laney, College of Alameda. But then prior to that, I actually transferred from a business school in San Francisco. And I guess I decided to switch schools and apply to Berkeley because sophomore year, I realized I no longer want to do business. So instead, I applied as an Asian American Studies major. And I picked Berkeley because I guess Asian American Studies was founded at Berkeley. So it has one of the best programs in the nation. But also just, I was already living in the area. So I had a lot of close friends and a good community here. So I wanted to stay.
Awesome. Thank you, Tammy. And then lastly, Josue.
I'm Josue. I transferred from Riverside City College. I originally came in as a media studies major, but I recently graduated with a bachelor's of arts in American studies. I was choosing between UCLA and Berkeley, but I decided to go Berkeley because the name only, and also like Eunice, I wanted to kind of just get away from home, and there was a lot of stuff going on. And when I came here, I liked their media studies department, but I took a class in American studies and I kind of really enjoyed it. And that's why I chose that as my major.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Josue. All right. So I guess just first questions. I know, from my perspective, I myself, I was not a transfer student. So I guess I know there's probably different experiences from the transition from I guess your community colleges or different colleges to Berkeley. So I guess my first question for Eunice, I guess, how was the transition from your colleges to Berkeley? Did you find that it was hard or easy, or how did you feel about that?
I think that one thing that was really different for me was how classes are like. Cause for me, back in my community college, classes are a lot smaller, and we have much more interactions with the professor, like and things like that. But then when it came to Berkeley, it was mostly like lecture style. So it was like a big group of people. I think like you're expected to be more independent and take more initiatives with your studies. So that was one big difference for me. But overall, I think that one good tip, sorry, one good tip would be for you to really reach out to your major department and ask for help, meet up with counselors and ask them like, oh, what do you think I should do? Because as a transfer student, you don't have as much time as a freshman does. So I think like that would actually be very helpful when you're trying to plan for your 2 years and like trying to choose classes. So I actually got a lot of help from my own major department. So actually that helped made my transition a lot easier.
Awesome. Yeah. For Tammy or Josue, did you guys have any similar feelings about that, or was your experiences totally different?
I would agree with Eunice that I had a lot of help from my department. It helped with that in my department, media studies and American studies are correlated. So getting going to the academic advisors really helped me make my plan for what I wanted to do because I wasn't really sure. So I would that makes it a lot easier, and they're always great, nice people. So I can confirm from Eunice.
Nice.
I guess to add on to Josue, I I would say, yeah, the professors and faculty like advisors are definitely very helpful. Um, so I think that made my transition pretty smooth, because I was communicating with my major advisor before like I even started. So like I knew exactly what I had to take and when. And in terms of, I guess, transitioning socially, um, that's like what I hear from most of my junior transfer friends. That's hardest about moving to a new campus, like in a new city, especially at a school so big. But I think it was different for me because I already had friends here. Um, I would agree with Eunice about like the academics being different in that I was used to taking a lot of online classes, so I had a lot of flexibility with my schedule. But then once I um, came to Cal, it was different in that I guess with discussions you have to go, but then um, with lectures, not all of them were recorded, so I would have to go in person. And then there's like less accountability because like the lectures are so big that people don't really care if you show up or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that's awesome that you were able to get help in both, yeah, academically and socially and whatnot. Um, yeah, so for Eunice and Josue, did you also find it um, as I guess a similar experience for I guess getting help finding classes, kind of like Tammy was talking about with her like so or advisors and whatnot?
Yeah, I think for me, because coming in like I wanted to double major as well. And I wanted to double major and wanted to graduate on time. So that left me with like very limited amount of like time for each semester that I can take classes. So and and on top of that, I had to figure out like what classes from my community college can transfer and what can't. And also like in order to declare, I have to figure out like what requirement classes I have to take. So
Mm.
honestly, I would recommend going on to the major that you wanted to declare, like the website for the major that you wanted to declare, because on there I think they actually provide really clear information on like what classes you have to take to declare, what are the GPA requirement, and like from there you can actually plan out like what classes like that you plan on taking. Because I think honestly that can be pretty stressful trying to figure out like 2 years worth of classes. So I guess like talking to people definitely help.
All right, awesome. Okay, great. So I think we have a question that um, we can answer. The question that I have is, how do you feel like being a transfer has disadvantaged or advantaged you at Cal? Um, why don't you guys think about it? Um, and I guess Josue, I can have you answer this question for now.
Yeah. So as a transfer, you could feel at a disadvantage because you're going in as a third year, and most people around you have either declared their majors or are almost declaring your majors, where you kind of feel like you're starting 2 steps behind. And that can be very challenging. It was challenging for me, especially thinking about career. I was thinking, oh, I'm so behind. I don't have any internship experience. What can I put on my resume? But the thing is that you are in an advantage because you did time in community college, meaning you had time to mature and you kind of learned how college works. And all my friends and me, we saw that, yeah, the first semester was pretty challenging, but after that, it got easier. And it's kind of like just using those same steps that got you into Berkeley to you apply them once you get to Berkeley. And you're at an advantage because going from high school to Berkeley can be a whole different world, but at least same college courses can be kind of similar. And also, you're more mature than most freshmen. So that would be a big advantage. You have age in your side. So don't feel bad that you may feel that, oh, no, I feel so behind, but you're not. So
Nice. Tammy, are you like to chime in?
Yeah, I think everything Josue said I can, resonate with. In that, I mean, objectively, the time is shorter, like the time you have at Berkeley, but I think transfer students come in already knowing an idea of what we want because we do have to declare a major beforehand. And I feel like talking to like my peers and talking to freshmen and those younger, it's different in that like transfers are a lot more realistic about what can be done and just what's necessary to do in preparation for the future. So I mean, there are definitely ups and downs to that, but as is with life and growing up.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. You guys have anything to add on? It's okay if you don't.
I think one thing is like instead of focusing on the fact that you didn't spend your first 2 years in Berkeley, I think maybe like it'd be nice to focus on the fact that you still have 2 years in Berkeley, because I think a lot of things do happen like mainly in junior year and you have your senior year. So I feel like cherishing those time that you have, it's actually, it can also like make your experience at Berkeley like meaningful and like great as well.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really awesome. I think yeah, going into college is being able to have those meaningful moments, especially knowing that you kind of feeling like time is short and whatnot. Yeah, I guess for you guys as well, like how did you go about finding more meaningful moments? I guess like finding friends or like looking forward to like experiencing those those things in college. Since you talked about that a little bit, um, I just want to ask maybe Josue or Tammy.
I think I found that meaningful moments are like there are times I didn't expect. Like I'm someone who likes to study by myself. My favorite place is fifth floor Moffat in one of those individual seats. But I learned that like studying with people and like just spending late nights like trying to like get a paper done or like just whatever assignments it is, like that was actually, those are some of the memories I have of like, wow, like I can look back and like obviously they weren't the most pleasant times, but I can look back and say like, wow, I had friends there to do that with. And I think that's pretty meaningful.
Nice. Josue, did you have a similar experience?
So kind of similar to Tammy, I would say don't be afraid of making an effort to make friends. I know that sounds kind of weird, especially like, oh, what? You mean I have to talk to people? Well, that's super awkward. But the thing is that you're not going to make friends unless you put yourself out there.
That's true. That's true.
I,
That's like a true
one of my
JO leader.
best, yeah, one of my best friends that I met in college was in my first class I took at Berkeley. And homeboy was another transfer student, and we just kicked it really good. Like we were in lecture, and one day he's like, "Hey, bro, can we like we switch numbers? Sometimes I'm late to class and I forget." And He actually ended up not going to most lectures. I mean, I would just send him the
That's
lectures.
me.
Well, the thing is that then he would like be like, "Hey, bro, let's work on this paper together. Hey, let's work on this project together, bro." And through that, we were able to develop a friendship. So friendships happen if you look for them. Like, if you want friends, you'll find friends. Trust me,
Mm.
it's not that hard. People at Berkeley I found to be very friendly.
They're
I
also
would
looking for
also
friends.
recommend. Yeah, everyone's looking for friends here.
Oh, we can be your
And
friends.
Oh, yes.
That's true. We can all be.
so I just put yourself out there. Don't be afraid of putting yourself out there.
Mm. Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah, I think as well as like making friends like that, I think I know for me one way was to like looking for like student orgs or clubs on campus. How about you, just a question for you guys? Yeah, were you able to sort of find those ways in clubs or organizations? Were you it was I know that there's like so many clubs on campus. So I guess Pammy, do you think that was going I guess look first A like did you were you able to find clubs or whatnot or B was it like helpful or whatnot?
Um, I think that's one aspect of the Berkeley experience I kind of missed out on because, um, yeah, I didn't. I know, like, I think it is pretty overwhelming to like walk onto Sprout Plaza, and then see like hundreds of tables and like flyers being shoved in your face. But I think since I had been on campus before and like taking classes through cross enrollment, I learned to like navigate around that. So I never actually like joined any new clubs, but I was actually part of Coin since my freshman year. So that's where I met most of the people that I'm still friends with today.
Hmm. Wow. Eunice or Josue?
I would say for me, I like to kind of just try a lot of different things. My first semester was kind of like a trial and error type of thing. I was in a professional club aimed towards getting careers in a professional setting, especially the entertainment industry. And I think that was really helpful to help me see that that's not what I want to do. I know that sounds weird, like, oh, you
Mm.
want to do a club, but it helped me see, oh, I don't really enjoy this. So, but don't throw yourself out there too much. See, me and my one of my roommates, we had this bad habit of club hopping, meaning
Mm.
they had free pizza and we would go in and get the free pizza. But you can't be doing that all the time because then you're not really going to develop a community.
Mm.
The community that I've grown up the most this past 2 years was with Coin as well. I actually just met them randomly. My roommate, that same roommate, he got me a flyer and he's like, "Yo, bro, we got more free food," and I went, but it was different this time. It was something I actually enjoyed, so it was nice.
Isn't that kind of like saying that you found your place from the free stuff though?
That's fine. Whatever works, right?
I mean, that's how my friend advertised it. He was the one dragging me to the things, and I was like, you know what? I'm broke, bro, and we need to eat dinner.
Ah,
That's true. There's always clubs giving out free food. So keep an eye out for those. I guess once
And one of
Coin
those could be
lifts
for
and
you.
come on campus.
yeah. Oh man. Oh yeah. I think I came out to Coin because of the free food. So I'm guilty of that as well.
I did not.
Uh, Eunice, do you have anything different?
I think for me, when I first came to Berkeley, I'm really interested in a couple of the professional clubs, but honestly, a lot of them actually require interviews or actually require you to like write essays about you and things like that. And I hate writing.
Mm.
So I actually got really lazy in applying because I was like, oh my God, this is so much work. And like, like I have to go through rounds and rounds of interviews. And then I actually met one of my closest friends through GPO, and she actually like after the first year of GPO, she brought me to like play board games with like this group of people, and just like have free food. I guess you guys know where this is going. But yeah, I mean, like, and then I was just like, oh wow, this is great because I don't have to go through any interviews. I don't have to write any essays to be accepted. To be part of this community. So I was like, oh wow, yay. And I mean, like, I'm still part of this community. I'm really thankful. Like, all of my housemates are part of this community as well. So, oh, it's called Coin, by the way. Yeah, so I guess it all worked out that I got lazy with the interview. So
That's great. I know, actually, yeah, Eunice, I want to talk about, yeah, you mentioned, I think multiple people have mentioned talking about GBO. I know GBO, for those who don't know, GBO stands for Golden Bear Orientation, and that's one of the sort of the first experiences for a lot of students going into Berkeley. I know that since given the situation that we are with COVID, I actually don't really know how GBO is going to work out for this year, but I guess for you guys, I think like Josue, I think you were a GBO leader, I think.
First friends that I actually made, besides my roommates at Berkeley, were at GBO. GBO, even though at times you actually don't go to GBO, it's made for you to have friends. That's the main purpose of it. And I actually have a lot of friends, close friends, that I made through GBO. The way it works is depending on what housing you want to pick. So if you are on campus, they're gonna people that live close to you on campus. If you're on campus, they're gonna people that are also off campus. So for off-campus students, it doesn't work out the best, but for in-campus, it does. And there's a fair amount of mix of non-housing students that are transfers. Anyways, I that's actually a great place to meet friends. And as a GBO leader, I saw other my students that I was helping in GBO. I saw them build friends. I'm friends with them on Facebook, and I saw that the little groups that they would hang out with in during GBO, that's literally who they're like tagging each other in memes. So it's you can make friends through GBO. It's possible.
Nice. Tammy, Eunice, would you also say GBO was that I guess
I did not like GBO. I'm sorry, Josue. You were there when I was at too. But I think after the first day, I transferred this past year. The first day they had us stand in the stadium for like hours, and it was like upwards of 100 degrees.
Oh man.
And then after that day, I was like, I'm not coming back.
Oh yikes. Yeah.
But I went back a few times for like required stuff and for meal tickets. But no, I think because my GBO group, the people were all very nice. Don't get me wrong about that. But I think we all were very different too. And then there are some people who are clearly there because they're like, oh, we paid for this. They charge you for GBO, by the way, just so you know. So they're like, we paid for this, we got to show up. They're like, I had like returning students, like these people had kids, and they're like, what am I doing here? Like, my kids are at home. So it was a mix of like, oh, yeah, it wasn't the best. Like, I guess I feel like it wouldn't have been the best use of my time, but the time I did spend there talking to people, I mean, that was nice.
Yeah, nice. Josue, I know you briefly mentioned about housing, so I kind of want to talk about that. I guess for all of you guys, did you find it easy for finding housing? I know that the school provides on-campus housing, I believe, your first year or whatnot, but for at least going onwards from there, were you still able to find housing and roommates? Eunice, I guess?
So in my junior year, because not a lot of people from my community college actually transferred to Berkeley, so I think I came into Berkeley with no friends, no connections. So I actually I was just driving around Berkeley and somehow just found like a company that was renting out houses. So I actually ended up staying at the north side for the whole of my junior year, where like most of the people actually was living in the south side. So I guess like one difference between like living on the north side and the south side is that the north side is definitely quieter because there's not a lot of things going on. There's not a lot of shops. There's not a lot of special people. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah,
Hey,
there's not a lot of,
honesty.
yeah, honesty. Okay, I'm sure you guys know what I mean, but there's not that much craziness over there in Northside. So I would say that maybe it is safer, but at the end of the day, it's still Berkeley. Okay, anyways, yeah, but being in Southside actually, so I'm living at Southside for this year. I think it's actually more fun, like, because all of my friends are on the South Side, and like it's closer to Walgreens, it's closer to Boba Ninja. I love their popcorn chicken. Okay. Yeah, it's just closer to all the food, yummy food places. So I think I actually enjoyed Southside more. But yeah, so that's just my personal preference and my experiences.
I can add on. I've lived in Berkeley, so I lived in the same place last year as I did this year. But I think one piece of advice I have for housing is like to not panic. My sophomore year, when I first moved to Berkeley, like my roommates, I guess we were all freshmen, we were looking for housing, so everyone was like super anxious about finding a place, and then we ended up like snagging a place, but it was like over $800 per person, and we had 6 people, so it's like it was pretty crazy what we paid. And then the year after, we made some friends, like upperclassmen who were graduating, so they actually passed down their apartment to us, and now we only pay $560.
Wow,
So that's great.
$500.
So just don't
That's
panic.
cheap. That's really cheap in Berkeley. Wow.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Nice. Josue, do you have anything?
Yeah. So my first year, I lived in the student housing, and you shouldn't be afraid to try it out in case you're not as adventurous to do your own, or if you're like me, you suck at planning things. So basically, I lived in the house in like a studio apartment, and it was nice because everyone there was also a transfer student, so it didn't feel weird being with a lot of freshmen, and it does give you an opportunity. And also, some of them are like continuing students, so you actually get to talk to people that are around your age and like maturity level. So that's really nice. I really liked it. It is cleaner. And this past year, I've been living in a house. Getting this house was actually a lot of work. I live with 15 guys.
15 guys.
And
What
I
the?
know, yeah, yeah, it's a lot. We're a bunch of crazy people, but I mean, sometimes we really wanted a house, and the only way we would pay less than a grand was if we had 15. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. But I would highly recommend there's a lot of groups actually for housing on Berkeley if you're really worried about that. There's a lot of Facebook groups, so get plugged into that. And also, if you make friends, you can find housing because if you're with people, you'll get housing. So don't be afraid to make friends. I'm gonna throw in the friend plug again.
Man, oh man, I don't know if anyone doesn't have that many friends to get into a house like that though, Josue. I think that's an anomaly in Berkeley. Oh
Wait,
man.
Josue, what student housing did you live in the first year?
So the student housing that I lived in was in Unit 2 called Wada Apartments, and it's a studio. It's like a mini studio, and the cool thing about this place is that we had our own kitchen, so you don't have to worry about, oh, I don't want the meal plan. You can actually get that one.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I do know some people that do have to settle for regular housing, like the regular dorms. But for the most part, they'll put you in with transfer students or continuing students because the school is very aware that there's a transfer community in Berkeley and they want to make your experience as enjoyable as possible.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
We have a comment, Josue. Are you in a frat? How
I
many
was
live in a
Am I
wondering
in a
that
frat?
too. It sounds like a frat house.
Disclaimer.
If I was in a frat, I would have shouted out my frat. No, I'm not in a frat. I just live with a bunch of crazy guys that wanted to live in a house together. That's the simple answer.
It's kind of like a frat house,
But
though, minus the alcohol, right?
and it's pretty
mean-
clean. We keep the house clean. It's not like super crazy. No, I don't live in a frat. I'm not I actually don't like parties and stuff. So that would be the complete opposite of me. So I don't. No, I don't live in a frat. Sorry.
All right.
I agree with the crazy guys part though. Like all of them are really crazy.
Ooh, shots fired.
I have no comment.
Oh, whoa! What are you trying to say, Eunice?
They're eating dinner right now. You're gonna call them out when they're not
No,
here.
that's why they're not watching this, so I get the chance to call them out. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh man. All right. I guess we have. I guess I have like maybe like a few more questions. I can ask you guys. I guess as as junior transfers, there's a lot more things. I guess you're thinking about going into college. I guess like a lot of people do think about like job searching already and thinking about balancing academics and whatnot. Yeah, would for anyone of you guys can chime in. So how was it? I'm trying to balance all of these things, like trying to starting to look for jobs or just trying to get the hang of like Berkeley academics, Berkeley social life, and such like that.
I could start. I would say I didn't actually practice balance, but looking back at it now, what I should have done is I should have like taken time for myself instead of feeling like I need to put in so much effort into academics or career. Like r- rest is important, and you also need your own time because if not, you're gonna get burnt out. I got burnt out a lot my first semester. There was a lot of nights that I was like, oh my god, I am so tired, but I need to finish this. And if you actually plan everything out kind of appropriately based on what you want to balance, so what are your priorities, I would say. But remember that your health is most important. Don't think like you have to spend every night at Berkeley going like, yo, this college life is so old nighters. I've met a lot of people that they're like, oh yeah, I've only done like 2 all-nighters in my whole college career. So I mean, they're pretty smart, but your health is important, and that's what you should go for. Think of your health before all other things, because it would be sad if because of your health, you wouldn't be able to achieve your other goals. So that's my advice that I would look back in now to prioritize more health.
Hmm.
I think that like not just for junior and transfer students, but honestly, I think for all college students, it's hard to find a balance between everything. And I think the society today like actually expects like as college students like age 18 to 22 to like to get it together to have our life like in control and things like that. But I think honestly that's a little like unrealistic, right, to put so much pressure on yourself. But I think the fact that you are in Berkeley, and I would say that Berkeley actually provides a lot of good resources. They actually have a lot of good career fairs throughout the year, and I think those are actually really they actually provide a lot of information for job search or searching job search. Yeah, and I think another thing is also connections, right? Like the people that you meet, people that you meet. I'm sorry, people that you meet, and like yeah, through the people that you meet, you might be able to get referrals for jobs. I think that is actually one thing that was really helpful for me. And like just talking to like professionals about what their job is like and like how is it like transitioning from students to a working adult. I think that would actually make it easier instead of trying to do all of those things for yourself. Yeah.
I would say to take time to slow down, just like think and like enjoy your time in college. I think like especially given the whole shelter in place, like, and it being my first year at Berkeley, something that like I've heard a lot of my friends say is like, oh man, I wish I had like done more crazy things. Like I wish I had like not spent like all my bandwidth studying and like freaking out over grades. Yeah, I think like some of the memories that I treasure most are like the spontaneous nights, like when there was one time like my friends and I, it was like midnight and we're like, let's go to SF and like just like chill for a little bit. And I think those are the memories that I'll look back on, I remember, and be like as college, and like not like the nights I spent like studying an extra hour or so. So I think like we're all very academically driven. Like that's why we're at Berkeley. That's why you're gonna be at Berkeley. But it is important to realize that college is not just about like your grades and about classes. Like there's so much more.
All right. Yeah. I think yeah, man. That's pretty. That's really insightful for these students. I think I'm gonna wrap up pretty soon. So I just wanted to make a pitch just for something that Cornelia has to offer. We have something called Bear Buddies. This is going to be especially helpful for junior transfers, just for helping connect students just with upperclassmen and with alumni for one-on-one mentorship, and just help with career and resume workshops and whatnot by real professionals within our group. So I think something that I think maybe I would have definitely benefited from. I know I wasn't a junior transfer, but I think just going forward into college was having like a mentor or whatnot. So I think that's definitely something that I can pitch for our group. So I just want to drop a link just in the just in our chat right here. So for just for you guys just to see what we are all about. And so while I go ahead and do that, just gonna ask one last question is going to be what is one word you would give yourself, your junior transfer self back then, and why?
What is what?
One word you would give to when you were a junior transfer, and why?
Like to describe?
One word.
Wait, to describe ourselves or to give advice?
To give advice. To give advice. Yeah.
No. Okay.
This is on Joe.
That's my bad.
Okay, but I know.
One word.
one word of advice that you would give to your junior transfer self.
Sorry, do you mean a literal word?
Yes,
or do you
a
mean
literal word. A literal word.
Oh my god.
I think for me, I would do growth actually. You're obviously gonna grow in physically and mentally, but you're gonna grow in ways that you didn't think, and that's pretty. I would feel very encouraged if I told myself that I'm gonna grow in my years in Berkeley.
I think one word that I would tell myself and would be to relax. Yeah, because I think I was really academically driven. So I was spending a lot of my time on academics, on like things like that. So I didn't really care about making friends because to me, I was thinking like, oh, you know what? It's only 2 years in Berkeley. Like I don't need to make lasting relationships here. But I was really wrong. I guess after my first semester, I just realized, oh wow, like the importance of having genuine friends and having a community that you can rely on is so important. So I guess I would just tell myself to relax and not be too stressed out over academics and just
My word would be cling. Because I would tell myself to cling in that, like, I guess short for cling on. Like, cling on when you're
because
going
it's only
through
one
hard
word.
times. Yeah, just one word. Like cling on when you're going through hard times, because there are gonna be hard times for sure. Cling on to your friends. Yeah, just cling.
All right. Awesome. All right. Thank you guys for sharing those one word and piece of advice for that. So I think we're going to close up the night for here. And so, yeah, all right. So I think thank you guys again for sharing with me. And then, all right. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.